Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ministry of Tourism special interview program, Tourism One-on-One, where we explore topical issues affecting the tourism sector as we tackle the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm Kingsley Roberts, your host, and with me today is the Director of the Tourism Linkages Network, Mrs. Carolyn McDonald-Riley. Welcome, Mrs. McDonald-Riley.
Thank you for having me.
Today we examine how the Tourism Linkages Network is operating amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Mrs. McDonald-Riley, tell us, for the benefit of our viewers, what is the role of the Tourism Linkages Network?
The role of the Tourism Linkages Network is to ensure that our local manufactured goods and services finds its way seamlessly into the tourism industry.
So how many networks actually fall under the broader Tourism Linkages Network?
There are 5 networks and there are 2 special working groups. I'll speak to the network first because the networks were created to use the passion points of the tourism to create economic activity. Right. And these are the networks. There's gastronomy, which is how it is that food can be used as a pulling point for the tourist. Then there's sports and entertainment. And we have seen the influence of sports and entertainment on our product. There's knowledge. People travel for conferences. People travel to write. There are lots of reasons. How do we convert that into an economic activity? And of course, there is health and wellness. And health and wellness, which is a $1 trillion industry, is huge. It is how do we capitalize on our natural spas? How do we capitalize on our health and wellness products? And a wide range of things that we can look at health, especially during this COVID pandemic.
And then the 5th one will be what? Shopping?
And the 5th one, shopping, transportation, and attractions. And that is huge, as the name suggests. Those are the 5 networks.
So what's the role of the working groups?
The working groups have specific roles. They are agriculture and manufacturing. And the genesis behind that was that the Honorable Minister Edmund Bartlett saw that it was so important that agriculture and manufactured items find its way seamlessly into the tourism space. If tourism is doing as well as we say it is, and we use our local foods and integrate it in our tourism industry, agriculture should also be doing well. If we use our manufactured products and services that's done here, and it finds its way into the hotel sector, then our manufacturing industry should be doing well. So we have dedicated working groups that exist to ensure that that happens seamlessly.
All right, so what is the role of the Linkages Council?
So the council is an oversight body, and it is a mixture of public and private sector partners to ensure the smooth running of the projects that we have and programs, but also to give input. So we have the PSOJ head, we have the JHTA, we have 3 permanent secretaries, namely from the Ministry of Finance, the Agriculture Ministry, and Commerce. So the idea is to ensure that this group of individuals look at the programs. We should be all talking to each other. We shouldn't just be coming up from programs from government point of view to say this is what we want. There's a link between both sides. So we have a wide cross-section of persons. It is chaired by Adam Stewart, who is also the chairman of the Sandals Group. So we have persons intertwined from the tourism industry. We also have the JMEA as a part of the grouping. So we ensure that there's this august body of persons who are in the know and also participate actively in ensuring that the linkages, programs are aligned with what is required.
So how has the operations of the Tourism Linkages Network been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic?
It has been affected in that we have had to pivot. So our programs continue because they're really important programs. So some will move hybrid, some will move all virtual, and we have done new programs.
Right. So just expound on that. Tell us a few of the stuff that you've had to move onto virtual platforms.
Well, we have had to move some of our training virtual platform. We had speed networking, which is one of our flagship programs. We have had to do that virtually, meeting persons on platforms. And while I think it's less effective, it has borne some fruits. We have had Christmas in July, again, one of our flagship programs, all the products in a space, and we had our hosts describing the products and bringing them to the world, which really gave us a wider audience. So there has been some opportunities. However, what was missing was the touch of that entrepreneur who could perhaps tell you a little more about the passion that drove them to making this product. We have had to provide care packages for persons who have been dislocated, both perishable and non-perishable items. We have engaged some of our fashion designers to do masks, so they have also had to pivot. And the masks we have provided to the tourism industry. We have had to do programs such as distribution of the touchless bins, thermometers, hand sanitizer stations to the smaller properties. So we have done some distribution. We have worked with our craft traders to upskill them in training. We have had to provide grant funding. So we have had to pivot. So we have not had less work, but we have been doing different things differently.
Okay, so you've been going out all across the island doing all of this?
We have been working across the island using the tourism protocols. As a matter of fact, we have developed manuals. So we have developed manuals, for example, how spa operators should operate in the COVID pandemic. We have developed agricultural manuals. So we have been, and we have to go out there and say to people, this is how it is done. So we still have to go out there and do the training, manage the training. We have trained more DJs than we would have had it been face to face. So some aspect of it has been virtual, but yes, we have had to pivot, but in a positive way in that we have had more persons have been given access.
All right, and you mentioned care packages. So specifically, what have you done for small and medium-sized tourism enterprises? Those would have benefit on.
Yes, so we have had care packages both for the dislocated workers. We have had care packages for the small and the very small and the medium-sized properties. And we have also looked at persons who supply informal services to serve just outside the tourism space. And I'm talking about the jerk chicken people. We're talking about the shrimp people. These are part of our attractions, and people come here for this. The jerk man is a very big part of what we do. And we have provided them with hand washing stations, sanitizers. We have provided them with masks. For our small and medium-sized property, we have given them touchless bins. We have given them the hand sanitizer for the wall, which also takes the temperature, and we have provided them with hand sanitizers. For the tourism workers, the ones who were sent home temporarily, we have had to provide them with food packages across the resort areas.
Right, so this must be costly.
It is costly, but our workers were persons who would have been paid and therefore dislocated, mean they would have been sent home, some of them without a salary for an extended period of time, while there are some properties that could have afforded to pay some of their workers. There were really some that could not have.
So what has the reaction been like?
Oh, the reaction has been positive. It has been positive, but even we did a COVID survey study, and it was that most of our workers felt confident that the industry would rebound and that they would come back to work. And as a matter of fact, they were looking forward to come back to work. A few of them found alternative means of employment and therefore would not have returned. But we took the opportunity to train additional staff and to encourage other persons to join the industry through free certification programs.
Okay, excellent. All right. That brings us to the end of our program. Thank you for joining us today, Mrs. McDonald-Riley.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks to our viewers for tuning in. Join us next week when we conclude our discussion on how the Tourism Linkages Network is operating amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Take care and stay safe.